Welcome to our College Briefing show. Today, we dive into the heated ballot measures that voters in Arizona and Nebraska will face this November. With conflicting initiatives on abortion and primary elections, the stakes are high, and the potential for legal battles looms large. What will happen if both measures pass? It's a political puzzle that could reshape the future of these states. Next, we turn our attention to Cameroon, where ongoing separatist violence has forced hundreds of thousands of students out of education. With 2.8 million children affected, the crisis has led to school closures and a surge in early pregnancies. The heartbreaking stories of students like Jane Ndamei highlight the urgent need for peace and stability in the region, as the future of a generation hangs in the balance. Finally, we celebrate an incredible comeback in college football as the number 9 Iowa State Cyclones triumphed over UCF with a thrilling 38-35 victory, thanks to Rocco Becht's last-minute touchdown drive. This win marks the Cyclones' best start in program history, and fans are buzzing with excitement. Stay tuned for more details on these stories and more. The Toronto Star reports that voters in Arizona and Nebraska are set to face competing ballot measures during the upcoming November elections, one focusing on abortion rights and the other on primary election structures. In both states, if multiple conflicting measures are approved, the measure with the most votes will generally prevail, but the situation is complicated by the specific provisions within each measure. This could lead to legal challenges as courts may need to determine which parts of the measures conflict and how they can coexist. For instance, in Nebraska, one measure seeks to protect abortion rights until fetal viability, while another aims to solidify current restrictions, potentially leading to a scenario where some rights are upheld while others are limited. In Cameroon, the ongoing separatist conflict has severely disrupted education for hundreds of thousands of students, as highlighted by the harrowing story of Jane Ndamei, who was forced to flee her school during an armed attack. The conflict, which began in 2017, has led to the closure of over 14,000 schools across West and Central Africa, with 1.4 million children currently in need of educational assistance. The separatists have deliberately targeted schools to enforce a boycott, creating a catastrophic situation where many children are left without education and facing bleak futures. Families like that of Nelson Tabuva, who have fled to safer regions, struggle to provide for their children, who remain out of school for years, often leading to early pregnancies and lost aspirations. In college football, the Associated Press reports on a thrilling game where Rocco Becht led number 9 Iowa State to a dramatic 38-35 comeback victory over UCF. With just 30 seconds left on the clock, Becht executed a crucial 1-yard touchdown run, securing the win and matching the best start in the program's history. Despite a shaky performance, including 2 interceptions, Becht managed to rally his team after trailing by 2 touchdowns earlier in the game. The Cyclones' victory solidifies their position in the top 25, while UCF faces mounting challenges after their 4th consecutive loss. Associated Press, in a thrilling clash, the 5th-ranked Georgia Bulldogs triumphed over the top-ranked Texas Longhorns with a decisive 35-15 victory, led by Trevor Etienne's impressive 3-touchdown performance. The game was marked by a chaotic moment when Texas fans reacted to a controversial penalty by throwing debris onto the field, showcasing the high stakes and emotions of college football. Georgia's defense was a formidable force, recording 7 sacks and forcing 4 turnovers, which translated into 17 points, solidifying their dominance throughout the matchup. Despite the loss, Texas had previously been undefeated at home, making this defeat a significant wake-up call as they navigate their new SEC challenges. Associated Press, in another exciting game, Southern University secured a 24-14 victory over Alcorn State, with Noah Bodden making a notable impact by throwing a touchdown pass and rushing for another score. The Jaguars' victory was secured with a crucial 39-yard field goal from Joshua Griffin, followed by a spectacular 51-yard touchdown run from Kendrick Rhymes, capping off the game with a flourish. Alcorn State had their moments, including a 64-yard touchdown run from Tavarius Griffin, but ultimately fell short as Southern's defense held strong in the final moments, showcasing their resilience and determination in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Associated Press, the number 21 SMU Mustangs steamrolled Stanford with a commanding 40-10 win, thanks to Kevin Jennings' explosive performance, which included 3 long touchdown passes in the first quarter alone. Jennings' ability to connect on deep throws set the tone early, leading to an insurmountable lead for SMU. Despite the lopsided score, the Mustangs faced their share of challenges, including turnovers that allowed Stanford to score. The Cardinal, struggling throughout the season, continued to face difficulties, unable to break their losing streak against ranked teams and remaining winless at home against FBS opponents. As SMU looks ahead to their next game against Duke, the pressure mounts on Stanford to turn their fortunes around. Associated Press reports on a thrilling college football matchup where Avery Johnson led the number 17 Kansas State Wildcats to a decisive 45-18 victory over West Virginia. Johnson showcased his talent by throwing 3 touchdown passes and achieving a career high of 298 passing yards, deftly navigating West Virginia's struggling defense. Despite Kansas State's leading rusher, DJ Giddens, being held to a season-low 57 yards, the Wildcats adapted their offense, with Johnson connecting on multiple big plays. The game marked Kansas State's best start since 2014, while West Virginia faced its 9th consecutive loss to ranked opponents, highlighting the challenges under coach Neil Brown. South China Morning Post shares the inspiring story of Jessie Kwong, a 61-year-old Hong Kong retiree who transformed her health after being diagnosed with osteoporosis. Initially plagued by frequent falls due to fragile bones, Kwong embraced strength training as a means to combat her condition. With the guidance of personal trainer Andy Yu, she set small fitness goals and gradually improved her strength, balance, and overall well-being. Over 3 years, Kwong not only reversed her osteoporosis diagnosis but also opened a gym called Why Not Fitness to empower older adults to embrace strength training. Her journey illustrates the profound impact of exercise and community support on health and longevity. Yahoo US sheds light on the emerging understanding of long COVID in children, revealing that millions of young individuals are experiencing lingering symptoms post-infection. Recent studies indicate that between 1 in 5 and 1 in 10 pediatric cases result in long COVID, affecting various organ systems and leading to serious complications like type 2 diabetes. Experts emphasize the importance of early diagnosis and treatment to mitigate long-term effects, as many children face challenges in academics and daily activities due to fatigue and cognitive issues. The article underscores the need for continued vigilance and research to understand the full spectrum of COVID-19's impact on children, dispelling previous misconceptions about the virus's severity in younger populations. Associated Press. In a thrilling showdown in East Lansing, Michigan State emerged victorious over Iowa with a score of 32-20, breaking a 3-game losing streak. The Spartans were led by Jonathan Kim, who set a school record with 6 field goals, and Aiden Childs, who threw for 256 yards and a touchdown while also rushing for 51 yards. The game started strong for Michigan State as they jumped to a 12-0 lead in the first half, dominating Iowa's offense. Despite a late surge from Iowa, including a 75-yard touchdown run from Caleb Johnson, Michigan State sealed their win with a 1-yard touchdown run by Nate Carter in the final minutes. Coach Jonathan Smith praised his team's resilience, highlighting their ability to respond to Iowa's challenges. Associated Press. In Austin, Texas, the Longhorns faced a dramatic moment when an interception by Jody Barron was initially negated by a pass interference penalty, inciting a wave of frustration among fans who littered the field with trash. However, after a review, officials reversed their decision, allowing the interception to stand. This pivotal moment energized the Longhorns, who were trailing 23-0 at halftime. Quarterback Quinn Ewers capitalized on the momentum, throwing a touchdown pass shortly after the overturned call, bringing Texas back into the game against number 5 Georgia. Coach Steve Sarkisian's furious gestures to calm the crowd became a memorable scene during this intense match. Associated Press. The number 4 LSU Tigers continued their dominance over Arkansas in a convincing 34-10 victory, with Caden Durham shining by rushing for 101 yards and scoring 3 touchdowns. The Tigers have now won 5 consecutive games in Fayetteville, showcasing their prowess in the battle for the Golden Boot. Despite a night filled with penalties, LSU's defense held strong, forcing 3 turnovers and limiting Arkansas to just 38 rushing yards. With this win, LSU is poised to climb in the rankings following Alabama's loss, setting the stage for an exciting matchup against number 14 Texas A&M next week. Coach Brian Kelly's squad is looking to maintain their momentum as they aim for a successful season ahead. Associated Press reports that the Vanderbilt Commodores showcased their resilience with a thrilling 24-14 comeback victory over Ball State at First Bank Stadium. After a slow start, Vanderbilt's quarterback Diego Pavia ignited the offense, completing 17 of 31 passes for 275 yards and rushing for a team-high 82 yards, including a crucial touchdown in the fourth quarter. The game saw a tight contest, with Ball State initially taking the lead, but Vanderbilt's defense and special teams, led by Brock Taylor's flawless kicking performance, turned the tide. The Commodores' ability to convert on third downs, going 8 of 13, played a significant role in their success, setting the stage for an upcoming clash against the top-ranked Texas team. Associated Press highlights South Dakota's impressive 27-17 road win against Youngstown State, marking their first victory at Stambaugh Stadium. Charles Pierre Jr. emerged as the star of the game, rushing for a career-high 153 yards and scoring 2 touchdowns, including a pivotal 50-yard sprint that shifted momentum in the second half. The Coyotes, ranked 4th in the FCS coaches poll, demonstrated their grit by shutting out the Penguins in the second half, overcoming an early 14-0 deficit. Quarterback Aiden Bauman contributed significantly with a 48-yard touchdown pass, while the Coyotes' defense tightened its grip, securing their 5th consecutive victory. Associated Press covers Northern Arizona's narrow 30-26 victory over Idaho State, driven by the dynamic duo of Ty Pennington and Seth Cromwell. Pennington displayed his versatility with 353 total yards, while Cromwell's 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns were critical in securing the win. The game was a roller coaster, with Idaho State leading 23-16 before Cromwell's 1-yard run tied the game. A clutch 55-yard field goal from the Bengals briefly put them ahead, but Cromwell's subsequent touchdown gave Northern Arizona the lead for good. The Lumberjacks' defense held strong, culminating in an interception that sealed the game, showcasing their determination and tenacity in a closely contested matchup. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.